veterans who are coming back, getting restarted in a civilian career. The whole objective with VetBiz Now is we just can't let time go by with these guys coming back, these men and women coming back, and not be of assist to them, give them timely information on the many, many, many different programs that are out there that are prepared by the federal government, the states, the local city governments, the university systems, to help veterans establish themselves and recognize that small business ownership is in fact a very plausible career option. And that's, the SCI students are here, there's proof positive that entrepreneurialism is alive and well in the academia. We've got retired, we've got active business ownership, we've got large businesses. I'm not the only, every large business in a prime contract with the U.S. government, particularly those in the Defense Department, have small business liaison officers such as myself who are looking for small businesses. And in the military industrial complex, in my experience working in the procurement shops, businesses, small businesses are exciting. We have direct access to the top dogs at the small businesses. But small businesses that are owned and run by veterans have a commitment to the user of the material. We find that when you're building nuts, when you're manufacturing nuts and bolts as a small business, veteran-owned business, you recognize that nut and bolt can save somebody in the active fleet. And we're out, we're veterans, we've come out of the military, but it's the new airmen and the sailors and the seamen that are out there on the deck plates today that are doing the job that we've transferred to them, and it's our turn to provide them with equipment that they can rely upon. And so one of the things we want to do is pull that core along with the incoming newly minted veterans and put VetBiz Now in place. With that, I'd like to introduce Rose Bednar, one of the major instigators of the success of this program so far. So Rose.
We're partners in crime, come on.
I want to welcome all of you to Gateway, particularly those of you, this is your first time. It's an exciting program. VetBiz Now. Oh, Tom, we're giving you credit for it when you came. Yes, you, Tom Bednar. You came and you had a meeting here with SBA and us, and you told us to get ready for a lot of the returnees from Iraq. And we came up with VetBiz, which is not new. I called Washington as a vetbiz.gov. They said no problem of owning it. But we needed an action word, and those of you who know the Small Business Center upstairs, a little crowded, we had a meeting. And Ed, you had to stand up and tell them what you did. We said, you don't have to point anywhere, we're all marketers. We needed an action word. And all I said is, Ed, they said, Ed, we need VetBiz, we need an action word. What did you do?
VetBiz Now.
Oh, come on, yes. That's how it was coined. All right, the VetBiz Now, because we wanted an action word. And the whole purpose of this particular initiative is to make veterans more aware of the small business resources that we have. We're piloting it in the New Haven area thanks to Julie Branter and the SCORE organization. We're working off of their website. They're also sponsoring this event. You'll hear more from Julie. But we had a lot of other partners. We had a working committee, Ed to begin with. He came down. Dennis was on at Harlan Henry from Secretary of State's office. He's on vacation. Lou Mangini from Rosa Dolores' office. He's on vacation, so he won't be here. Bob, you were instrumental. Rick, you were instrumental. Marianne Green, Julie, Eduardo, you sent us info. So it was one of those, working committees that we wanted to have some kind of launch event. Susan Bicevich already announced the VetBiz Now initiative at one of the Connecticut Business Showcases. So it's just in the seed level. One of our major new partners is the Connecticut, the Commission of Veterans Affairs. Thanks to Linda Schwartz, and this is why she's here. Brian, you joined in. Janet from the Chamber. It's just a wonderful network of people wanting to share resources. I have to tell you one quick story about the communication process. It was because of Tom, who's on the SBA Advisory Committee in Washington, gave me a connection in Philadelphia Chamber of Commerce. It's called VetWork. Called Senator Thomason's office, got in touch with somebody from Philly. She told me about the VetWork program. I called the Chamber of Commerce here in New Haven and said, could we identify the vets? And Janet, your chamber, then put out a query, which we have some of you here. A neat press release went out. Then Bill Elmore, who heads the SBA Advisory Committee in Washington, sees this press release and then communicates to Susan in Philadelphia about, hey, do you know what's going on? It was because of her, and because of Tom. So that's the kind of circle, and we're just finding tremendous, tremendous support when we talk about wanting to serve, veterans. And it's not just starting a business, it's also, I think, Ed, you mentioned it too, with our service folks, when they have to leave their business to go, when they're deployed, I mean, their businesses have to be maintained, or they have to be restarted, and SBA has some wonderful programs that Barbara's going to talk to you more about that. All right, the purpose of this morning is just to have connections. All right, we want you to meet real people, real faces, and then it's going to be like a web. All right, just in terms of people getting to know other people, and it started this buzz. Many of the programs were driven to websites, and they're wonderful, but there's so much information there, we get kind of lost, or you get right back to the beginning. So what we're doing with this particular program out of the Greater New Haven SCORE office is that it's a pilot program where there's real people that you can book. All right, so that those of you that are service providers, or those of you that are veterans, we need to spread the word. And we don't want somebody just getting shuffled around, not knowing where to go. The resources are out there. Most of them we don't have to reinvent because they're there, whether it's SCORE, whether it's SBA, whether it's Gateway. I have an entrepreneurial studies degree program here, a certificate program. We've got workshops, putting more courses online, thanks to my president, Dr. Kendrick. We have a thriving small business center. As SCORE knows, we're operating in very squished quarters upstairs, but the small business center here at Gateway has some great partners. PCAP, we've just picked up as far as a formal program. So again, I want to thank you. We're going to just go through briefly the speakers so that you get to know faces and names, and then hold off the networking until afterwards. So it's a business meeting. We will absolutely be finished by 11 o'clock. We're only waiting now for Bernie Sweeney, but I guess I understand the roads are kind of tough with the rain. So we're still going to go ahead. When he comes in, then we will recognize him. So if you don't mind, just holding off comments, and then we're going to be available afterwards for the networking. So I'd like to, since Ed, you already gave your spiel, I'd like to introduce Dr. Joseph Kendrick. We're going to make them get up here. We said, no, you can stay in the audience. Dr. Kendrick.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Gateway Community College. I'd particularly like to recognize the new Deputy Secretary, Leslie Morrow, because I believe this is your first time at our college. When she had come in this morning, I said, is this your first time at Gateway? Welcome to Gateway Community College. I'd also like to recognize Commissioner Linda Schwartz of the Connecticut Veterans Affairs. Welcome to Gateway again. I'm sure you've been here before. Gateway Community College really takes pride in working with SBA and SCORE and trying to reach out to the community. We know that the majority of businesses that have started are small businesses, and we know that we play a pivotal role in making sure that our students, particularly our vets and others, get their needs met at Gateway Community College. And that's why it's always such an honor for me to tell you a little bit about the school and make sure that the dollars that are invested in higher education are dollars that are well worth spent. I'm very pleased that Rose Bednar, who has always been a great professor at Gateway Community College, she always is interested in starting new initiatives to make sure that the word gets out. And of course, our students will play a pivotal role, and they will be doing so in this event also in marketing. The other people that are not here that I'd like to recognize are our faculty, nationally renowned faculty who do a great job in making sure that people in the classroom needs are met. And we do a very good job in starting new programs and providing services for students, and I'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. And also Bob Miles, who works with our vets, because Bob has done a very good job. We put together some very good initiatives to make sure that students' needs are met. And if they're not, they're always at my door letting me know what I need to do next. So I appreciate all of you, and thank you for the support that you have given this college, because without you, there's nothing we can do to make a difference in the lives of students. Today, more than ever before, the role of higher education is continuing to be more demanding. In terms of the diverse student populations that we have to serve, we have to be more flexible, we have to be more fluid, we have to be more dynamic, and we have to start looking at customizing programs. Because students come to us at different stages of their life. Some already have degrees and are here because they want to get something to make them go higher within their learning situation. Others do not and are trying to get trained so that they can move into jobs. But our job is to take people wherever they are and help them realize their dream. And that's what I get such pleasure out of seeing students blossom and grow and become more than they ever imagined they could become. That's all of our students. And so having you here today, just to see some of the people who play a pivotal role in working with our students, and also to hear from those individuals who are committed to our vets and to student success, is a very important message, because it really talks about collaboration, cooperation, and partnership. And those are the things that really matter, particularly now more than ever before. I was so distraught last week when I was looking at the paper and I read the article regarding so many of our children who have not been able to make it. And yet these individuals have to find somewhere to land in their lives. And we have an obligation and responsibility to work with them, to work with their parents who may or may not be vets, and to work with everyone, because the world needs all of us. We have no one to waste. And so I'm pleased to have you here today. We've worked hard to make sure that our veteran needs are met. We've worked hard to make sure all of our students' needs are met. But I think the most important thing we strive to do at Gateway is to try to live up to our mission, which is to provide access to success for our students. If students believe in their worth, they trust their insights, they have goals both personally and professionally, and they work hard, we take them from wherever they are and help them become dream makers, job takers, and contribute to society at large. Welcome to Gateway Community College.
Thank you, Dr. Kendrick. You're going to be hearing more from them, but I do want to mention our SIFE group, the Students in Free Enterprise. And we've got the officers here. This is a student group that's national, actually international. And part of this Vet Biz initiative started with SIFE that we wanted our students to do a marketing awareness campaign. So that was their leg of it. And then Bob Miles here at Gateway, and because of the veterans' benefits, he was very instrumental. And Mary Ellen, I'm not sure if I missed you, so I don't want to miss you. She was very instrumental to begin with too. But you'll hear more about our SIFE students, and they are available, and Professor Kapanos will talk to you more about them. All right, Bernie seems to be in traffic. All right, so we'll be waiting on him, but we'd like Commissioner Schwartz, please, to speak. Thank you.
Well, since I didn't hear anybody claim to be in the Air Force this morning, I would claim to be in the Air Force. I was a flight nurse in the Air Force, and I live out in Stonington. This morning we could have used one of those submarines. It was raining like the devil. But I'm very glad to be here, and for Dr. Kendrick, and especially for Rose, because you have to have, in any effort to bring about change, you have to have a very high-powered energy person to lead the way. And when Rose came to see me, I realized that I was confronted with someone who was very determined that this is going to happen. Let me say that it's this generation of veterans is very different. I served during the Vietnam War. I was actually took care of casualties, so that was one generation who actually went on to education, and our fathers had the GI Bill. And now we are having veterans, we are having people taken right out of college to go to war. And so many of them have already aspired and begun their educational process. I realized the flexibility and the way in which community colleges served the community, because I was on the faculty for Mohegan Community College for many years before it became Three Rivers. So a lot of people coming back into the educational setting will be looking for help from community colleges. The other important thing is that I come to pledge the support of the Department of Veterans Affairs in your efforts. as I say, it's a new day. Many people used to think of the Department of Veterans Affairs as being one place in Connecticut, and that is Rocky Hill, and indeed that's where we are. But we do serve the 310,000 other veterans in the state of Connecticut. And my mother is here because on Wednesday, we will be breaking ground on a new state-of-the-art facility, 125-bed new facility that's pretty well on its way to being built right now. But it does signal a new day because the ways in which veterans were cared for in the past are no longer adequate for the service that they do. So I wanted to say I like Vet Biz Now, but I like invest in a vet too. So I give you that one. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner. Next, I'd like to bring Leslie Mara.
Yes.
Leslie Mara represents the Secretary of State's office. The Secretary of State's office has done a number of nice things with showcases. The large prime contractors frequently go to these showcases for small business to find new resources available among the Connecticut small business community. Leslie Mara represents that office. Leslie.
I have only been Deputy Secretary of the State for 7 months. And prior to that, I was the superintendent at the Connecticut Juvenile Training School in Middletown. I'm sure a few of you have heard about that. And so I know what it's like to confront a challenge. I know what it's like to find opportunity in adversity. And so when I joined the Secretary of State's office, I thought, well, what a pleasant change this is going to be for me, kind of sleepy. And in the last 7 months, we've decided on new voting technology. We've also presided over the Lamont and Lieberman campaign. My husband says it has something to do with me. Everywhere I go, boom, but it really isn't, I assure you. When I came to the Secretary of the State under Harlan Henry's stewardship, and in the 7 months that I've been there, I realized that if I wasn't aware of this gem, so many people must not be aware of it, and it must also be hiding its light somewhere. And so we have already expanded Harlan's efforts, given him new space, given him new equipment. We're preparing for new staff, and it was at my first showcase that Vet Biz Now was launched. And so I am hoping that you will find our office to be an ally as you proceed with innovative, energetic new ideas and opportunities. I also want to say that it is always a wonderful opportunity to watch entrepreneurs get in a room together. We really don't have to do much at all because, of course, I've already given you my contact information because we are implementing accessible voting technology for the first time in the state of Connecticut ever. And I want to make sure that folks with disabilities, wherever they are, whether they're among the ranks of our veterans or whether they are others, that they know about this technology and that we do what we can to get them to the polls. And so what I have learned in a short 7 months is everything's connected and you never know who's going to be the key to the success of where you want to get. And so I'm delighted to be here. I hope that you will continue to ask us for help because we're here to give it. I'm happy to talk to individuals this morning and at other times. And I just want to thank you for your leadership and for making it now about that list.
Thank you. I'd like to introduce Edgardo Perez, member of the Small Business Administration.
It's going to be getting up to see who was on my phone because that was very soon I get a phone to Rose.
Well, now you are burning. You can't make it, so
Oh,
you are
okay. So, improvising. As I said when I introduced myself, I'm with the Small Business Administration at Edgardo Perez. I have been with the agency for approximately 7 years. I came to this agency from the FDIC where I used to post plans for a living. I came here as the Chief of Portfolio Management, and now I am in the supervisory position for business development. Those of you who may not be too familiar with our agency, it was created in 1953. Our primary mission is to foster the development of small businesses in the United States. Obviously, that includes the possessions and territories. We have special programs for veterans. We have a significant other number of programs of which I will try to touch a little bit on each of them. How long do I have here, Rose?
Well, so you're talking about burning the SBA, you need to cover, so no more than 5 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Most people think that the SBA lends money directly. We don't do that anymore. We used to do that. The only time when we do that is when there's a disaster. During Katrina, we had a program, it's called the Disaster Loan Program, that allows our agency to do direct loans for small business owners and homeowners who have been impacted by a disaster. And we do that at a very low interest rate, about 4% is the maximum rate that we can do. We also have a loan guarantee program that allows small businesses who are unable to qualify on their own merits for access to capital, to borrow money. We help them by transferring the risk from the bank to our agency, and we can guarantee up to 75% usually of a loan. That allows the banks to do the loans and the small businesses to acquire the capital they need. Veterans get preferential treatment within our agency programs. We do that also. We have an economic injury disaster loan program specifically geared for veterans. And I'm not going to go into all the details here because of the length of time I have to speak about. But as the Veterans Officer for the agency in the state of Connecticut, I address those issues one-on-one. And if I need to come to any of your organizations to talk in more detail about that, I'll be more than happy to do that. My primary job is doing business development for the agency, and I'm available 7 days a week. I don't have a particular work schedule. If I need to go to a function on a Saturday or a Sunday in the evenings or in the mornings, that's not a problem for me. All you need to do is contact me, and I'll be more than happy to come if I have the time available. I'm committed to helping the small business community. I love what I do because this agency has the ability to influence and impact the quality of life of so many people. And all our services are free. SCORE is one of the resources that we work with. We also have the small business development centers. We have a number of resources that are willing and able to help small businesses and veterans. So I'll be here for as long as I'm needed, and I'll see me, I'll give you one of my business cards, and anything that you need, be it for veterans or small businesses, you can count me in. Okay? Thank you.
Hi, Dean Kaczynski, could you come up, please? Julie?
Good morning. I'm Mark Kaczynski, the Academic Dean here at Gateway. Most of you know academic deans are in the business of working with faculty and programming, and one of the exciting things about meeting with this organization is attempting to create a just-in-time philosophy on this campus. Just-in-time training and just-in-time education is really a central part of our mission, and nowhere does that make more impact on people, I think, than with our veterans, especially our men and women coming back from Iraq. It's my honor today to recognize two individuals. And I come here as a representative of the president, but all my colleagues at the college, all the faculty and staff who are very proud of this event. First, Ed Hill. Ed Hill is the 2006 SBA Small Business Veteran Champion Award winner for support for veterans in business. He was nominated by the college this year. He's been a real friend to Gateway Community College, and he's also, of course, the co-chair of the Vet Biz Now. Mr. Hill has done outstanding work to support veterans and disabled veterans as a small business liaison for Electric Boat as part of General Dynamics, as well as he's initiated and taught the Growing Government Procurement Seminar Series that you'll hear more about later. Ed Hill, congratulations.
Thank you, Rick.
Thank you. Well, yes, thank you very much, Dean. I appreciate that. It's been a pleasure working with Gateway College. Gateway College allows me to interact with entrepreneurs who are just thinking about becoming a business leader or have been in it for a very short period of time. It just helps me recognize the kind of spirit and enthusiasm that there is really out there in the small business environment. In the large corporate world where I work normally a 40-hour week, we find that small businesses, like I was mentioning earlier, really give Electric Boat the kind of service that we wish even the larger businesses could give us. But we love small business. I'm looking forward to working with the veteran small businesses. Thank you very much for this award.
Our next award winners, I'd like to ask Tom Bednarzet, please, come forward. Most of you know Tom, but from a college perspective, Tom's a very unusual individual. Tom visited Gateway Community College, I'm told, about a year ago. I'm a fairly new person here. I came in February, so I haven't really met Tom until today, but I've heard so many exciting things about Tom's work. But as I said, about a year ago, Tom visited the college and he really sparked the Vet Biz Show Now initiative. He's also provided us with outstanding contacts in the area of veteran affairs, a very important process for any community college. And he's, of course, everyone knows him as Vice President of SBA Advisory Committee out of Washington, D.C. On behalf of the President, all my colleagues at the college, congratulations, Tom.
Oh, it's an old camera. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tom, please sit.
I'd like to first thank the college for this award. I wasn't expecting it. I was told to be here to do something else, so I just found out myself. As Rose knows from me over and over again, I don't do this for awards. I do this because of the passion I have for veterans. A couple of things that we could not do during the announcement that I should touch upon. First of all, I am Vice Chairman of the Small Business Advisory Committee for Veteran Affairs in Washington. This committee was organized or created by Public Law 10650 in 1999. The committee reports to the President and to Congress about veteran affairs, and our real goal has been the procurement side of federal business. Because subsequent to 10650, there was another public law, 108-183, which took the service disabled veteran and raised him on an equal par to the 8A firms of this country, and there is a 3% procurement goal. And one of the things that our advisory committee has been doing is monitoring the acceptance within the procurement community for veterans and disabled veterans. What's important to realize is that there's a tremendous amount of revenue and resources available from the federal government for veteran businesses. And it's my job at the SBA to try to push that forward. And you can find our committee meeting minutes on SBA.gov under the title of Veterans. I really enjoy that part. It's a volunteer committee, but the people that serve with me on the committee are all veterans, unfortunately mostly older veterans. but we do have some of the younger guys right now. The thing that came out of the committee meetings that's most important for us to realize is that the veteran of Iraq and of Afghanistan in particular, it's a new breed. And we could relate that to the Vietnam era. I was in class of 1970. We had drafts. Today we have volunteers. We have people that are serving their third tour that have small businesses. I didn't think of it until I got to Washington about doctors. Doctors run small businesses. Doctors are going in and out of country every 3 months on rotation. Doctors' businesses are taking a pretty significant hit in terms of their own patients, because as I was pointed out one time, a woman who is pregnant that finds out that her obstetrician will be in and out of Iraq every 3 months, and he will not be available in 3-month tours, becomes an issue. Something that she has to wrestle with, whether or not she wants to continue on with that obstetrician. That's the high end. The low end is that we are creating intelligent, technology-savvy, young entrepreneurs. Because these kids, as they go over for their second tour, even after their first tour, are becoming very mature. They're beginning to realize at young ages what they're up against in the future, and they want to start a business. Now, Gateway is the perfect vehicle because you can't do a business without having some educational background. And thus, that was the genesis for me talking to Rose about where the college itself can play a significant role in these 20-year-old entrepreneurs that now feel, as they come out of the military and they have the GI benefits, that they want to start a business. They need the foundation and the background in order to do that successfully. The SBA as an organization provides information and loans, as we heard Eduardo talk about, but more importantly, in order to get a loan from a bank today, you need a business plan, and you need the background. You need to show the maturity, and that's where this program, VetBiz Now, can really bring together and galvanize all the concepts together so that young Iraqi or Afghanistan returnee can now get a good foundation to drive his business. The second thing I represent here is the Northeast Veteran-Owned Business Network. You can find it on ndobn.org, but it's a conglomeration of about 60 small businesses throughout the Northeast. The commissioner, she was here a little while ago, the commissioner provided us a platform where we get free access to the auditorium up at Rocky Hill, and we produce and conduct these sessions where our businesses are able to display their wares, and we invite the government contractors in particular to come visit us and to see what our veteran community can offer in front of that. Ed has participated very actively in that environment. In fact, we held a one-day seminar, and Ed was a panelist on it. So I congratulate Ed, because not only does he support Gateway, VetBiz Now, but he does support the veterans throughout the state of Connecticut. So with that, I am deeply honored to get this award. I don't deserve it. I'm just doing what I think is right, and God bless America. Thank you.
Reintroduce Julie Brander, who's going to talk about her organization, SCORE, and Rose Valor is on vacation, and her deputy was supposed to come, and he is not able to, but Julie has a letter that she's going to be reading, and then Julie's going to be introducing the other speakers. Thank you.
Thank you. So the letter from Rosa says, "Dear friends, though I cannot be with you today, I'm so excited about the VetBiz Now initiative. The public-private partnerships that have worked together to create this new program are providing an invaluable service to our veterans and our communities. All of our nation's veterans deserve our gratitude, and we, as a community, should do all that we can to assist them in making their future endeavors a success.
They fought to protect the freedom and democracy that underlie all that we do. It is easy to take our fundamental freedoms for granted, but we must never forget that the liberties we enjoy were hard-won and not commonplace in the world. For more than 200 years, American soldiers have answered the call to defend our land and our values of freedom and democracy. They have always remained vigilant in their fight to protect our country and our way of life. For many of our nation's veterans, the armed services taught them many lessons, including self-sufficiency and independence. Cornerstones of the entrepreneurial spirit as well. Some business is the backbone of our small business is the backbone of our nation's economy, a reflection of the American dream and helping to build the character of our communities. The Vet Biz Now initiative will provide Connecticut veterans with the resources and directions they need to make their business a success. I want to extend my deepest thanks and appreciation to all of you who have made this program possible. Yours is an outstanding contribution that will make a real difference. I'm sorry that I cannot join you for this morning's kickoff event. I look forward to continuing our work together. With my very best wishes and warmest regards, sincerely, Rosa DeLauro. So now I would like to introduce, we have two SCORE volunteers with us today. Ed Bouvier, who is the co-chair of SCORE, and Bob Esposito. If you could stand up in the back, just know that they're also available. The SCORE Association salutes America's servicemen and women, and we're committed to assisting soldiers who are needing to restart their firms with business readiness plans, emergency loan applications, and business recovery. SCORE, as you may or may not know, is an organization that was founded in 1964, and it's a nonprofit organization dedicated to entrepreneurial education and the formation, growth, and success of small businesses. We're a nationwide network with 10,500 volunteers that provide free and confidential service. We have 389 chapters across the United States and 24 locations in the state of Connecticut. When you speak to a SCORE counselor, what you're getting is the benefit of all of our ideas and the continuity of knowing that someone who knows and understands your small business is available for ongoing support, and all of our services are free of charge. We're a resource partner with the U.S. Small Business Administration. We're located here at Gateway on the second floor in the Small Business Center. And the programs that we're currently offering now are the second Wednesday of each month, we offer a pre-business workshop for anyone who's interested in starting a business. And the third Wednesday evening of each month, we have programs on a variety of topics for those that are currently in business. The first one will be September 20th on Dare to Start a Business. You can go to our website and see all of our programs, which is newhavenscore.com. The second Friday of each month, we offer a government procurement program, how to get government contracts, and we also offer business counseling each week on Tuesdays by appointment only. So we're here, we're available to help each and every one of you if you need help with business counseling or any other business resources, we're available. So now it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you Dennis Brown, who is a business counselor for Connecticut Community Investment Corp, and he'll tell you a little about his organization.
Thank you, Julie. My name is Dennis Brown. I'm a business counselor for CTCIC, which is a private nonprofit. We are a non-bank intermediary for the SBA. We deal in microloans, which means we start new businesses. We kind of take people from the bottom side that can't get bank financing and get them money. Now, let me go back a little bit. My background is I owned a business for 22 years. I came out of the service, Vietnam-era serviceman. And Edgardo, I was one of the people who got a direct loan when the SBA did a Vietnam loan program. I would never have gone into business without it. I thrived with it. I actually got an extension, another piece of that to grow my business in the beginning. So the SBA was instrumental in getting me up and started. What it did was it turned me into a love of small business, which I've always been, and it gave me an opportunity. Now I teach business all over the state. One of the problems I have always had is to put all the resources together. We need to equip people to allow them to know where the resources are, what they need, strategically, how do they compete. The financial world and the business world don't often see eye to eye as far as needs, and somebody coming into business needs a little bit different guidance than somebody who's been in business a long time and knows the financial markets. My job is to do that. My job with VetBiz Now is going to be to coordinate people to help them find resources. I am in an enviable position. I don't get anything by lending people money. If they get money at any bank in this state, I'm thrilled. That's my job, is to make them bankable. The fact that you are here means that we now know other resources. One of the dark voids that we've had in entrepreneurial spirit is not knowing who the resources are. This is an avenue that we can start to show where the resources are just by your putting yourself in for this. Will do great good down the line. Everything is a step down the line. And I do have to mention Julie and Rose, which are two of my favorite people. I wish that they weren't the ones giving out the plaques, because the plaques should both be coming their way, because anything that's happened in this part of the world that deals in business and small business, you will find their names attached to it. And thankfully, we have people like this in the state of Connecticut who can help move things along. It will be my pleasure to help direct people into different areas and different resources under VetBiz Now. And we look forward to expanding it, and make yourself known, and we'll make you known also. Thank you.
Now we'd like to call up Janet Testa, the Vice President of the Greater New Haven Chamber of Commerce.
Good morning, everybody. It's my pleasure to stand up here and represent the Greater New Haven Chamber of Commerce. We're a relative newcomer on the scene. We've only been here, let's see, 213 years. And I think that the reason why this is so important to us is, looking back in our history, the reason that we exist as an organization is because many, many, many years ago, when we were still living under British rule, our merchants in New Haven weren't feeling that they were getting proper protection for their goods that were coming in and out of our harbor. The result of that was a coalition of businessmen from New Haven that went to Great Britain and asked for relief. And here we are 200 years later, still talking about things like that. So being involved in our government and supporting things that are important to us as business people is what we're all about. So this initiative hits at the very core of who we are as an organization. We also saw, as has been said by everybody, and just most recently, we saw the need for direction for our small businesses. 85% of our membership base is small business. So for us, it's the actual lifeblood of our organization. What we found very recently is that most of our people just don't know where to find the wonderful resources that New Haven and the New Haven area has, and Connecticut in general. There's a lot of good stuff going on out there for businesses, small businesses. People just don't know how to find it. We have entered into a coalition with several agencies, and we have come up with what we call our Small Business Assistance Center at the Chamber. It's a free service. It has a focus on businesses that are beginning in the empowerment zone, and we are pleased to partner with Empower New Haven. And this is a place to come if you need direction, if a small business needs help figuring out where are the right places to start. We have somebody who's a specialist, Bob Liuzzi, That's what he does. He lives it, he eats it, he breathes it. He knows every place to go. We don't have all the answers, but we certainly feel like we know how to send you off into the right space to find the answers. So please, if you've got people that you're working with, they work in the greater New Haven area, send them our way. We're glad to impart the knowledge that we have and help them get their start.
And now I'd like to bring up Robert Miles, Director of the Career Services, Certifying Official VA Benefits, Gateway Community College.
Good morning. Can you hear me? Sometimes the microphones don't quite get up. Just a couple things I'd like to say. You know, one, as we pick up this venture and really get it started for the school year, I think it's helpful to recall how this started. And Rose, your recollection may be somewhat different from mine, but as I recall, your interest in this venture and talking about veterans and small business started with a veteran, a disabled veteran with disability, who was told that he could not use his veterans benefits for the entrepreneurial program. Well, so I mentioned that's your Rose. And I don't recall how long it took, but Rose, being who she is, I think took that as a challenge. And we started questioning this ruling, and the VA started to move. So I think there are a couple lessons here. One is that bureaucracies do set up obstacles, and sometimes it takes some energy and some special people to get them to change. And now in this program, I believe that the VA is much more welcoming to a veteran who indicates that they are in an entrepreneurial program. The other is that good energy can come out of facing an obstacle. So I think this sort of group and the people who are here can really bring some special talents to helping veterans look at the option of starting or managing a small business. The entrepreneurial choice, and so my real job here, my main job in the college is to help students and potential students look at their career plans. And Rose, I don't know if you'll approve of this, but I look at entrepreneurial career choice as a wild card. You know, students come in and look at different programs and they say, gee, I might be interested in starting a small business. Well, it brings up a whole other set of questions. And I think it's helpful to bring information together to help people look at that option. And for veterans in particular, then there are some benefits and some advantages that need to be promoted. Now, I think a couple of people, Tom, you referred to the new veterans, and I think we need to think about how we can serve these returning veterans and reservists and Guard members in different ways. The entrepreneurship program and thinking of starting a small business, I think, has a special place for many of these returning service people. The independence of running a small business, I think is very appealing. Certainly they come back to civilian life, return to civilian life, or continue in their reservist capacity with new skills and training. And sometimes find that running a small business has a special appeal because they no longer are able to or no longer interested in working in a traditional organization. And I'm seeing a handful at this point of veterans who have certified disabilities and find that they really do look at the independence of small business in a different way than they did before. So I think we need to, as we think of veterans and reservists, to consider this option in a somewhat different way than we do for other folks in the job market. Now, another role that we can play, and I think the biz can help with this, and I think all of us who are aware of veterans benefits need to think of ways that we can promote the benefits available to veterans. And one way of maybe getting a hold of this is to just ask you a couple questions to get some sense of how the veterans benefits have changed. Anybody, do veterans benefits expire? I'm talking about the educational benefits. Anybody ever thought? Yes. They do. Usually. The state tuition waiver does not expire. There's a state tuition waiver which continues, and we have some World War II veterans who are receiving the tuition waiver. Veterans can be eligible for multiple benefits. I'm talking to a veteran now who's eligible for 3 different educational benefits. So we need to provide information to them, returning reservists, to help them to look at the different benefits and consider their education. So I hope as the VetBiz initiative continues that it has a tremendous potential to help veterans and reservists to resume their lives, to look at new opportunities for themselves. And I really do welcome the opportunity as we get started during the school year to do some exciting things.
Now I'd like to bring Stan Campanos up. He's an adjunct professor and Gateway Society Sam Walton Fellow. With the students, would the students like to come up so we know who you are?
Good morning, and thank you all for being here today. Congratulations to Ed and Tom for your awards. And it was Tom that used the word passion. And I'd like to pick up on that theme. Your passion for coming out on a day like today and being here for a meeting like that energizes everyone else. And that passion is real, and your involvement is real. We live in a world today that is at war. And people need to be passionate about that, regardless of their point of view or what side of the aisle they stand on. That passion is important. Being involved is important. I speak to you from a passionate point of view, and a little music in the background. I speak to you from a passionate point of view about my life. I'm a caretaker for a disabled American vet, and understanding his rights and the responsibility the government has to someone who sacrificed for his country is very important. As an educator, I'm very passionate about what happens in the classroom. The excitement, energy, and enthusiasm that young minds can bring together in the classroom can be very stimulating, and it can change the world. And when we talk about changing the world, we talk about an organization that we represent called Students in Free Enterprise. And it's an organization where students come together all across the world to understand and to share the concepts of free enterprise, ethics, business success, and how through one little initiative, compounded over and over, the world can be a different place. I'm very passionate about the activity that we do in Students in Free Enterprise. And it was Leslie who spoke about the beginnings of VetBiz in her office up at the Secretary of State's in Hartford. But for me, this initiative really began in Rose Bednar's kitchen last August when we began to talk about VetBiz, and Mary Ellen Green was nice enough to share the experience that her parents went through when she was young. And her passion and her enthusiasm really helped to make this possible today. Mary Ellen?
Good morning. Yeah, we were sitting around, we had an organizational meeting to decide the kind of plan the coming year. And near the end of the evening, Rose said something about wanting to do something. She had an idea for something for veterans. I'm the daughter of a World War II veteran who was at Pearl Harbor. And my dad, when I was a little girl, my dad decided to go into business for himself. And my parents spent their last dime starting that business. And I mean that literally. Their last $80 bought their first, my father was an independent oil dealer. Their last $80 bought their first load of oil. And so when Rose started talking about this, I thought how wonderful it would be to have a place. They didn't know where to look. They had no idea there was help out there. And they didn't have any idea where to look for it. So I said, you know what, count me in. I've been doing things at a local level, veteran-wise, for 40 years. As I mentioned in our introductions, I'm president of East Shore Unit 196, American Legion Auxiliary, and I'm very actively involved in that because I believe in that. I'm also the sister of a veteran. So, you know, this is very personal to me too. I'm very passionate about it, and I'm really excited to see it finally coming to fruition. Thank you.
Hello. I introduced myself before. My name is Tom Myers. I'm the part of the leadership team here at Gateway Community College. I'm also a Students for Enterprise member. I really think programs like this are helpful, and it was Leslie from the Secretary of State's office. I was taking notes at your last business-to-business trade show, and I believe it was you that said every interaction is an opportunity, and I really think programs like this are just really great when people get in the mix and meet each other. I'm very proud to work on the VetBiz project with Students in Free Enterprise, and I really hope we can assist in any effort that VetBiz requires of us and really market VetBiz and get the word out there. I'll let them know.
Frank Gordon, I'm also on the leadership team, and we're just so excited to start another year with SITE, and we're very excited to do further work with the VetBiz Now program, and we can't wait for the new year to begin.
Hey, I'm Katie Day, and again, part of the leadership team, also a student here, and this is a really great project. I knew nothing about this last year, but as I get into it more, it's amazing the number of people that you can meet and contact and network, and this is a great way for every veteran that needs help to find the help that they're looking for and get that, so it's a really good program.
All right, now I'd like to bring up Brian Roberts.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Brian Robertson, the Director of Connecticut Procurement Technical Assistance Program. We are part of a national program funded by the Department of Defense. So, of course, being funded by the Department of Defense, one of our big focuses and interest is on veterans. As a matter of fact, we have a new hire starting in our Bridgeport office next week, and he's just separated from the military in Tinker Air Force Base in Oklahoma. So when I went out to recruit someone for that position, I wanted to get somebody with government procurement with hands-on experience. We also have offices throughout the state of Connecticut, whether it's in Bridgeport, Hartford, New Haven. Here we're working with Gateway, New London, New Britain, throughout the state. All of the people that are there are experienced procurement counselors. They've either come from federal, state, or municipal procurement background. So what we try to do is focus on veterans, and we try to find government procurements for them to bid on. And once they find that government procurement, there's a whole assortment of registrations that they have to know how to bid on. They have to know how to price out that bid, learn about the history of the bid, the pricing history, learn about other programs, whether it's with the state of Connecticut or with the federal government. It could be the DVE program with the state. It could be the 8A program. What we try to do is relate the preferences for veterans to programs, and we'll assist any of our companies with that. There are never fees for our services. We're making our presence here at Gateway Community College. Last year we put on 10 seminars. We intend to do that this year, and we intend to also have a counselor down here at Gateway to to work with this wonderful college. So what we try to basically do is tell you what you need to know, how to break into government procurement, tell you who you need to know. If you don't know the answer, we'll assist you with that. And we're throughout the state, and again, there are no fees for our services because we are funded by the Department of Defense with a special focus and emphasis on veterans. We'll be here throughout the morning, and if we can assist any of you, we'll be glad to do that. Thank you.
And now I'd like to bring up Liz Bailey from the Connecticut Department of Labor.
Oh my goodness, let everybody in. Hi, I'm Liz Bailey. Can you hear me? My official title is Veteran Employment Representative, but actually in-house we call ourselves Veterans Services Representatives because we see the veterans when they come home. We are the ones that they contact first. So when they come to us, as far as small business and business, starting their businesses are concerned, they're in the talking stage and the thinking stage. And our job is to make sure that veterans are aware of all of the services and benefits that's available to them. So hopefully, we are their first stop. And we will actually work with any service provider in this country. If a vet sits at our desk and has a question, a concern, or a problem of any kind, we are either to take care of it from our desk or get that vet to the person who he needs to talk to in order to get that taken care of. So when they get to us, we kind of make sure that they have those basic needs so that they can venture out to the other things.